Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We have another build for you today, Path of Exile 2.0.3 Chronomancer triple recoup lightning warp build. So yeah, this build actually relies on lightning warp only and ball lightning to travel around. Very quickly, a shout out to Hungry Boots Gaming and Paint Master. I'll link both of their channels in the description. Paint Master for making his, or it's rather where I got the information of a triple recoup Chronomancer, but his build was using Frostbolt. And Hungry Boots Gaming just for his 1 million versions of Lightning Warp demon form builds that he did this league, where I got a lot of the ideas on how to make this work basically. Now, a lot of Lightning Warp builds will rely on the setup of, using Arc with Piety's Mercy in order to get as many enemies in calling strike range, right, as possible, and then just using Lightning Warp to teleport around on those, while also producing, some ball lightnings in order to be able to teleport on them. But a lot of the times when their chain is broken, they have to rely on manually casting a ball lightning to start the chain again. I wanted to make a build, however, that can literally, doesn't have to rely on this. So even during mapping, you don't have to have Piety's Mercy here. You can just have ball lightning and arc. And then how this would look like when your mana recoup really starts to ramp up. Your Spell Slinger will be proccing ball lightning in the direction of your preferred travel. And then you can just start casting lightning warp. And any enemy that you get within calling range also becomes a teleporting target, sure. Or teleportable, warpable target, right? But you don't need that. You basically can just rely on spamming one button, which is lightning warp, and then in your Spell Slinger you have the ball lightning that will keep proccing 3 ball lightnings in the same direction, and this will just enable your path of travel, literally making you kind of like a blink build, right? The more cast speed you have, the faster the projectiles are traveling, the faster you are teleporting onto them. So yeah, let's quickly go through how everything works. So for the Ascendancy, we took Temporal Rift just because we had a bit of extra points. Not really necessary, not important. This just kind of enables you to where you come to an abyss where you have the Shroud Walker with the I'm gonna kill you in 1 second modifier, and you can just kind of teleport. If you're fast enough, you can just kind of teleport away from the abyss. But other than that, I never found any use for it, not even for the abysses, because I would just kill the monster first, or the monster would kill me first before I even noticed anything was going on, because as you did see, you kind of need sunglasses when you are playing this build. A lot of the things on the screen aren't all that clear what's going on, so that's why we are trying to go as much survivability as possible. But yeah, now to actually start with the build, you want a Spell Slinger with 20% quality. Of course, for this build it's really important to have a lot of energy gain, so that the ball lightnings will constantly be proccing, right? And then you can just teleport onto them when the chain starts. Boundless Energy to get more energy. Vilenda's Propulsion, because we have an enormous amount of cast speed on this build in order to make the projectiles travel even faster, which is even better when Sands of Time, the pendulum swings towards the cast speed. And then finally Multi-Shot 3, just in order to make the traveling consistent, right? Before you even proc the next ball lightning, you still have the projectiles from this ball lightning going in the same direction from the first one, right? And also because we are using Unleash on Lightning Warp, sometimes it just so happens that we use both teleports, we actually double warp onto one of the ball lightnings, so it's nice to have a third one traveling in the same direction that we want to go as well. Sigil of Power just for the bosses, same as always. Magnified Area, Rapid Casting, Cooldown Recovery 2, and Prolonged Duration 2. Lightning Warp, the point of this build, please keep in mind this is a 100% critical hit chance build. It is designed in a way where we are always doing crits as soon as our Spell Slinger procs, otherwise we have 96%. So we are using Pinpoint Critical because we are also using Maligaro's Virtuosity on this build, so we don't have any problems with dropping critical damage bonus because it's locked in at 250%. Considered casting for just, you know, more damage. Zenith too, because this is a mana recoup build, so we do want this for the mana recoup mostly, not even that much for the damage, because it's, you know, it's not consistent because our mana is constantly jumping up and down. However, the mana recoup is really nice, and also the cost multiplier of 120%. We do want our lightning warp to be as expensive as possible, because this is also representing how much we are damaging ourselves by. We'll come to that when we get to the gear. Unleash, just because of the teleporting, because of how incredibly good it is when you have a lot of ball lightnings or cold targets in an area. Unleash will just make it so, because even though you are constantly proccing lightning warp, sometimes you will still get a charge of unleash going, even when you are at your like max proccing cast speed teleporting around. As you see, lightning warp every now and then gets an extra charge or an extra, you know, usage, and then it just makes your teleport double, which makes your damage double in that case, which is just nice. And also, especially for the 150% cost multiplier, because as I said, we want to make this expensive so that our recoup chain kind of starts going as fast as possible. Finally, we have Rakiata's Flow. If you cannot afford Rakiata's Flow, or you do not have it this league, I would highly recommend it, but if you do not use it, do not have it, then you will probably want to replace your Enfeeble with Elemental Weakness, and you will probably also want to be using Frost Bomb to apply Elemental Exposure for bosses. Rakiata's Flow just makes it where, like, you know, it's a lot more convenient to just have this, and then you don't have to worry about any resistances. And also just finally Cast on Crit, to quickly go over the Cast on Crit, where we are slotting in Arc and Ball Lightning. Now when you saw the boss showcase, you saw how the Ball Lightning just starts proccing insanely often, which makes it so that you can actually take care of rare mobs and bosses. Arc is here for the clear, for the magnified shock effect for bosses, and then we just slot in more energy gain, Sionis Temper, because both of these are projectiles and it's really nice to get a lot of them on the screen, and then Boundless Energy too, obviously. For a defensive layer, since we have some extra spirit on this build, we are using Blasphemy. Hopefully you are able to get just, you know, those few more extra points of spirit. I think it's 23 or 24 spirit required in order to take the Hex Magnitude. For me, however, it was not possible, so I just slotted in Strong-Hearted here. But yeah, this is a really nice defensive layer, considering we are constantly on the enemies, right? We are literally constantly on the enemies, because Lightning Warp, even though it has a nice area of effect, and we are also kind of investing into area of effect. Oh no, we are not. Sorry, I did. I took this point out, but you can keep in mind for later on, you can just use this point. We don't need to invest into area of effect, right, because we have Sands of Time, and this increases the area of effect of Lightning Warp already. So Cast on Elemental Ailment is here just as a placeholder, just because, you know, you can fool around for mapping, use Piety's Mercy, and then you'll have a lot more targets, maybe a bit more consistent Lightning Warps during mapping. But this, like I said, this build is designed in a way where you don't have to, like, you know, do different kinds of chains and gem swaps and whatever. You can just roll with this setup, and that is it. I was fooling around with this a little bit just for the Piety's Mercy, and that's it. Finally, Enfeeble, just so we use it as an extra defensive layer when we are opening Abyssal Pits, doing rituals, doing bosses. So Enfeeble, Heightened Curse, Focus Curse, Cursed Ground, Magnified Area, and Prolonged Duration, and that is it. For the skills, a very simple, straightforward build when it comes to the skills. I forgot to point out, Lightning Warp is constantly dropping lightning infusions for us, which are then being used by Arc in order for Arc to be empowered, have more magnitude of shock or more damage, and so on. So more damage, and then obviously more chance to shock. Yeah, that's it for the skills. Let's go to the passive skills. So as a defensive layer, we are using Apex of the Moment together with Temporal Chains. And also we have damage gained as extra cold on our wand, which is kind of chilling enemies, so you know, we are probably if not at full 75% slow effect, then near, at least for the normal monsters. Since this is a triple recoup build, we are using the Rapid River. Quicksand Hourglass is just amazing, one of the only quote-unquote offensive notes, I guess, for this Ascendancy. But yeah, it's really nice. You get a lot of cast speed and a lot of AoE. Cast speed, well, just synergizes with everything, and AoE synergizes really nicely with Blasphemy, with Lightning Warp, with Enfeeble. So yeah, a really nice one to have. If I would change anything on this build, I think the only thing I would change would be taking out Apex of the Moment and slow effects, and then going for the ultimate command and time freeze for the bosses. I don't find it really necessary, to be completely honest, but if you would want to try that, there's something you can do. Now for the skill tree itself, it's kind of simple. We are focusing primarily on energy shield, so we are taking all of those big energy shield nodes that we can. Considering we are already coming here for pliable flesh, we also took inner faith to reduce the effect of curses on us. The 3 points here, guys, are 44% increased energy shield with a nice little bonus effect, whereas three of these points, for example, would be 45% energy shield increase. So you lose 1%, but you get the reduced effect of curses on you. Considering this is a cursed meta, I just find it nice. I just find it nice to use it. So yeah, we are allocating in Hail Heart on our amulet, and also using Chakra of Life, because we do need a lot of life recovery and life recoup in order for our energy shield and life to feel comfortable during mapping, together with any recoup that we can get, that we are able to get. My next points would definitely get invested into taking a bit more damage taken recouped as life here. I don't need any more damage, I don't want any more energy shield first. What I would want is just more recoup. I am currently at quite a comfortable rate, right? So we are at 111 for elemental and physical damage once we have the flask going, and a bit more with the chaos resistance due to the amethyst charm, but yeah, you want this as high as possible. Also, as I said, this is a 100% critical hit chance build, so we are taking a lot of critical hit chance. Everything that we can. We take the Evocational Practitioner here, Careful Assassin here, Controlling Magic also as a bit of a defensive layer. Considering we are also a elemental build, we can go Storm Charged, Critical Exploit, and then Critical Overload with the final point here for Sudden Escalation. To ramp up our damage a bit more, we are taking All Natural, also because of the resistances, to have a nice rounded up set of resistances on my build. For the damage, I also wanted to point out Stormbreaker. When you saw the showcase where we killed the boss, you did see that there were a lot of elemental ailments on the enemy. So this is a really nice, because we are shocking the enemy, we are chilling the enemy, we are igniting the enemy, because we have damage as extra cold and damage as extra fire on this wand. I would recommend you guys also get that, so that Stormbreaker becomes really, really useful as a damage multiplier for bosses. And finally here, Soul Bloom, Arcane Blossom. We need all of the recoveries on this build that we can get. So I would definitely recommend, again, on this build, taking a medium small controlled Metamorphosis Diamond here. A medium one will work just as well. You can literally take the same points on the medium one, so something to keep in mind. You could also take Royal here to reduce the spell area damage by a little bit, getting a lot of area of effect. I only use it on my second weapon set for the curses, right, and for Sigil of Power, but yeah, just something you can do. Considering we are trying to get our Lightning Warp to cost as much as possible, and we also like cast speed, we also took Overzealous here. Anything else to point out? I mean, obviously we are using 2 curses at the same time because of the Enfeeble here, but yeah, that's basically the build. Very quickly to also point out what all of the jewels do. So on every jewel I firstly primarily focused on getting as much increased maximum energy shield as possible. 3% of damage taken recouped as life, if possible. This is the only jewel that doesn't have 3%. And increased energy shield from equipped focus as possible, if it's possible. And then the final slot is literally just take some candy, like take additional stun threshold, take critical hit chance. What else did we get? Take critical hit chance. Yeah, mostly you are trying to focus on the first three that I mentioned, and then after that you can also meta skills gain some extra % energy. Oh, yeah, we also took dynamism in order for ball lightning to really be consistent. In order for the traveling to really be consistent, you need evocational practitioner and dynamism with the notes here for the meta skills gain extra energy. In my experience, I found these two to be really useful, and then also we took the projectile speed here, just to finish up with the Now we really did do it all. What I would recommend as a damage upgrade would be just taking out one of these. Although I really like the energy shield that we get from the jewels, so I don't know, it's kind of your choice, guys, you can decide. But yeah, you can replace one of these with a Prism of Belief with Lightning Warp, obviously. Maybe just as a quick finish, I will hover over the items. There is, however, a max roll link with all the explanations as well, so you know, if you want, you can just check the max roll then. But I think most of you guys already know how all of this works, so I'm not gonna over explain it. A few things I would point out though is your boots can be really cheap, or you can get the boots relatively cheap with the increased effect of socketed items, because this build definitely does not need any increased movement speed. Like, it's always nice to have some, but you don't actually need it, right? So this can be a lot cheaper. Some of the resistances on your gear could be optimized in a much better way. You could have more damage taken recouped as life also, in which case you wouldn't need to like you use the chaos resistance here or here, and then you would just have more cast speed. But yeah, this is it for the build. Hopefully you liked it. Let me know what you like. Let me know if you have any questions, if there is something I can help you with. Maybe I didn't explain something you didn't understand well. Happy to help. Let me know what you think, if you're gonna try it out, if you're gonna use it as a league starter, which, you know, wouldn't recommend. You definitely want some currency before going down this path. But yeah, hopefully you liked it. Like and subscribe and comment and all that, and we'll see you for the next build.